Gas prices are going through the roof. Just a few weeks after the head of the American Petroleum Institute said that if Obama didn't approve the XL pipeline, there would be political consequences. And the CEO or one of the senior officials of Shell Oil said expect $5 a gallon gasoline by election time. And we see these new statistics that have come out that just 5 years ago, 30% of all the oil that was being bought and traded on the commodity markets was being traded by banksters, basically, and 70% was actually producers and end users. And now it's flipped. Only 36%. This was the numbers for the week ending February 14th. Speculators made up 64% of all oil contracts. Producers and merchants, just 36% of all oil contracts. Similar to the bubble that we saw in 2008, when the last time the price of oil exploded. But for some reason, some folks think that this is the way the president wants it. Rory Cooper is with us, the director of communications for the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, and a former DOE advisor. Rory, you really think that the president is trying to jack up gasoline prices when that's probably the one thing that could kill his presidential bid?
I can only take him and Secretary Chu at their word, and they are quoted several times over the last 3 years saying that they want higher gas prices. Since 2008, when Stephen Chu told the Wall Street Journal that he wanted prices to hit the levels in Europe, which, of course, are around $10 a gallon, now, to yesterday when Stephen Chu was testifying in front of the House, and when he was directly asked by a member of Congress, is your goal to help reduce gas prices? He said categorically, no, it is not. So,
right,
yes,
no, it's not his job.
Word that's what he is saying.
That's not his job. And that's all he's telling you. I guarantee you that yesterday the president of the United States did not say that he doesn't want to lower gas prices. In fact, he's on several occasions spoken out about lowering gas prices.
He told CNBC's John Harwood in 2008 that
I said, I guarantee you yesterday he didn't say that he's not saying that. This is a presidential election year. It would be political suicide for him to say it, which is why you guys are running around saying he's saying it when he didn't say it this year.
I can show you the quote from yesterday when Stephen Chu said it.
No, Stephen Chu has no power to affect oil prices.
Energy Secretary for President Obama?
He is not the guy who's setting oil prices. The market is setting oil prices.
He is setting energy policy for the United States, and if you think that the global market does not look at U.S. energy policy when they set price, you're crazy. Of course they do.
And we have tried, and the Democrats have tried on numerous occasions to pass energy legislation, and the Republicans have blocked it every single time.
That's legislation. Tom, that's
Nancy Pelosi.
True.
Nancy Pelosi got out of the House legislation that would have encouraged, that would have given some substantial subsidies, greater than we have right now, to solar and wind, and would have stopped the $3 billion a year in subsidies for the fossil fuel industry and the oil industry and the carbon industry that is melting the planet down that you're defending. And it was filibustered by Republicans in the Senate.
Tom,
this.
Do you drive a solar or wind-powered vehicle? Do you think any of your listeners do? Do you think that the people who are trying to drive miles further away from their home to try and find a job in this economy are driving a vehicle that is going to be powered by solar and wind subsidies?
Well, if they live in Texas, where 10% of their electricity is produced by wind power, they may well be.
So what you're saying is that everybody should buy a $40,000 Volt and shut up. But right now, with $5 gasoline, they have to worry about what they're putting in their tank today, not in 10 years, today. And Americans
I agree, and so we should stop these banksters from speculating. What you should be, if you're genuinely concerned about the price of oil, instead of trying to bash the president, you should be going after Goldman Sachs and the other banksters on Wall Street who are speculating in this. This was illegal for banksters to speculate right up until the mid-1990s.
Tom, I'm afraid you don't understand what the definition of speculating is. People look at what the prices are going to be down the road.
Speculating is gambling.
Yeah. Speculating is looking at the market and saying, what is the price going to be 6 months from now? If I hold on to this oil in inventory, can I sell it for a higher price later? If they look at the U.S. energy policy and say, of course energy is going to go up.
Hang on just a second. Don't try and don't even try. You just said if I hold on to this oil in inventory, you know damn well that the 64% that I'm talking about that's being held by banksters, they're not holding any oil in inventory. They are not counterparties to any of these trades. And because they're not counterparties to the trades, all they're doing is driving the price up and skimming their profit off the top.
There is no proof over the last 4 decades that has ever had an impact on prices. And not only that, where is this inventory sitting? You cannot, speculators and people who invest in the market, which is their legal and business right to do so.
Are you trying to tell me, Rory, that when a large number of people short or go short or long on a position, that it doesn't affect the cost of the commodity underlying that?
Of course it does, and they're reacting to the global...
Then apparently there's some proof that speculation can increase oil prices.
Tom,
you just said
you're ignoring the fact that the Energy Secretary of the United States was testifying in Congress yesterday.
So we're back to what Stephen Chu said yesterday.
Yes, that's what he wants to have happen.
I agree with Stephen Chu that carbon energy right now, we are paying, right now, you and I, Rory, are paying with our tax dollars. With our income tax dollars, you and I are paying for the cost of protecting the oil that ExxonMobil and BP are importing into the United States. We're paying for the military cost. The Pentagon has tripled its budget since 1997. We are paying for that. We are paying for the thousands of cancers produced in Cancer Alley downwind from the refineries in Texas. We are paying all of those expenses, all of those externalized expenses. We are paying for the cost of global warming. We are paying for the cost of the devastation and the weird weather. I don't
even know what you're still talking about. The gas prices that
all of that in other countries, they are capturing those costs, and they're saying, like in Denmark, they have actually $1 of the gas tax in Denmark is specifically dedicated to medical costs to pay for the cancers and asthmas produced by people burning gasoline.
Talking about gas prices or about an entire progressive agenda. I'm talking about $5 a gallon for hardworking Americans to have to put a gallon of gas in their tank this summer, and you're talking
Rory,
about
like the Heritage Foundation
agenda.
really cares about hardworking Americans.
I sure do. The hardworking Americans who are going to suffer in this economy trying to fill up a tank while Secretary Chu is celebrating.
So we should just hand the whole economy over to what? To Mitt Romney and his billionaires on Wall Street who are funding him, who are making a fortune off these gas prices?
Over to the market, so that way, if a Chevy Volt people want to actually
the market,
buy it,
the wonderful market. So we should turn everything. We should forget about trying to modify the market in any way, or encourage anything like solar or wind that might actually make us no longer dependent on Saudi Arabia. And instead, we should just let these big oil companies tell us what we've got to do.
If people could afford a solar-powered car, you'd see one on the street today. People don't have $80,000 to buy an elite vehicle that people in New York want everyone in America to drive.
An elite vehicle.
People have to buy used vehicles.
Have you been in a conference with Frank Luntz, Rory? An elite vehicle.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Can you? You might be able to
Rory,
afford a Volt.
Do you know why people drive cars right now?
Excuse me?
Do you know why people drive cars right now?
To get to their job.
Because Dwight Eisenhower borrowed and spent hundreds of billions in today's dollars, of the equivalent of today's dollars, to build the interstate highway system, which massively exploded the use of automobiles. That was the 20th century. This is the 21st century. We need to be doing what every other developed country in the world is doing and what developing countries like China and India are doing, and saying, we're going to have 21st century infrastructure. We're going to have light rail. We're going to have high-speed rail. We're going to have metropolitan rail systems. We're going to get off of fossil fuels and get on to solar and wind. China is building solar plants out at twice the rate we are, and their economy is a fraction of the size of ours because our economy is captive of the oil industries and that you're defending.
Are they driving solar vehicles in China, Tom?
They are.
They're not. Of course, they're not because they're not available. You are talking about a land that doesn't.
They are moving people in vehicles that are powered by solar power. Yeah, absolutely, Rory.
People in America today are living in reality, not a fantasy land. They drive cars that are powered by gas. They need lower prices.
So every time the government has supported something that furthered something, like when the federal government developed the internet. They just shouldn't have done that, right?
President Obama himself.
That was a fantasy land thing.
To go up, and I know it's a hard position to defend. It's hard.
Rory Cooper. Well, we'll let our listeners decide that. Rory Cooper, heritage.org is the website. Thank you, Rory.
Thanks,
Good talking with you.
Talk to you later.